Hello and welcome back to our special show on the Nigerian elections today. Now, we do have a tweet taking part in tonight's discussions from somebody who wants to take part in the discussions. I'm going to see, it's going to come up on behind your head very shortly, I think.
My Ashanti head is too massive. You see, I knew she was going to drop that one.
It's a nice Ashanti head. Now, for Nigerians to believe in Buhari's intended anti-corruption policy, he must start from the top. He must probe and prosecute our past leaders. He must slash down the salaries and allowances of political appointees and elected office holders. It is not going to be easy for him, but that's what Nigerians want. Titi, I'm going to let you respond to that one.
Well, we did start and I said, Buhari said if he was going to prosecute the past leaders, I think he will spend more time on prosecution than delivery. So I think that's going to be a challenge. In relation to the salary...
Challenge sounds like an amnesty.
No, it's not an amnesty. It's that you need to draw the line somewhere. How far back do you want him to go? And then at the end of the day, is that what you want him spending his time doing? You know, you can't...
If you want to change the culture of impunity, which you both said this evening, then that's a great way of doing it.
But there are already cases in the court. Those ones that are already in the court, they should continue, and there should be an end result of prosecution that begins to send the signals, and then going forward, that should be... Yeah, due process. Well, but I wanted to touch base. Can I just say the one on the political salaries? I actually don't believe they should cut the salary. I believe they should make them work for the salary. They should deliver. They should be productive. People are playing emphasis on the salary because if you want to stamp out corruption, pay them what you believe and, you know, mitigate the temptations, but let them deliver.
Okay. Well, let's take another tweet and let's see what one viewer has to say. That will be coming up on the screen now. Finally, we had a transparent election in Nigeria. We expect Buhari to deal with corruption, insecurity, power, and create opportunity for the jobless citizens. Chidi, I think that fits in your remit of an economist, creating jobs for the youth, as well looking as well at the North and developing the North as well for security and stability in the whole of Nigeria.
Again, an excellent question. I think that the problems of unemployment are actually nationwide and not just northern. I think that the challenge in the north is that unemployment leads to insecurity. But to talk about the economy in Nigeria broadly, it's impossible to have a meaningful debate or plan without talking about the impact our 50% fall in oil price is having on our economy now and into the future. We've gone from over $100 last year a barrel to under $50 a barrel right now. Government revenues are down 60–70%. Over the next year or two, our credit rating might be reviewed downwards by at least 2 agencies. We're now at a point where we need serious leaders who are making serious plans about how to deal with this. And again, I hate to go back on Buhari's history, but in the early 80s, we did have a fall in price in oil. And Buhari was in charge at the time. And his reaction was to slash spending brutally, to raise interest rates, to make huge numbers of civil servants unemployed.
So austerity.
And to chuck out 700,000 West Africans who worked in Nigeria.
The Ghana must go.
The Ghana must go.
So that's why so many of my relatives had to leave. It's true, I remember.
But we need to be very clear about this because this set of reactions has happened in this exact economic environment before. So we need to be very, very clear about where we're going. We can't repeat that process.
Okay, well, we do have somebody that wants to take part in, I guess, what you've just said and more of tonight's discussions from England. Hello, caller. What's your contribution? Real quick, please.
Hello, person calling from England. We don't have your name up on screen, but we're told you're there. So please, what would you like to say?
Well, since the caller's not, there was a tweet over there. It'd be nice to blow our own trumpet because it's actually about everybody on the table tonight. It says, Voxafrica UK really enjoying the lively and intelligent discussion tonight. Keep it up. Thank you very much. It's a very nice tweet from you. Thank you very much. Now, Chidi, you did talk about it's not just the Northeast. We do know it's not just the Northeast. When looking at the economy, we do have to look at the whole of the country. But the Northeast, even as Mike O'Mary has commented, has been an issue. If we look, for example, the Talakawa people in the North, in the Hausa, meaning poor, they feel they've been neglected. And some people feel that's maybe how the situation possibly with Boko Haram has escalated to that extent. That has to be addressed, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. But I think that if you look at Nigeria on a purely objective basis, rather than a political one or an economic one, something that shocks people is that Bayelsa State, the president's home state has perhaps one of the lowest GDPs per capita in the nation. It's in the south. It abuts an oil-producing area, but it is massively underdeveloped. It has infrastructure issues, same as the north. And it's very important, as we both, I think, Dr. Banjoko and Mo, who's left, tried to say, it's very important to create an economic plan that betters the entire country. Otherwise, you go through a cycle of one region versus the other and one region versus the other, and we don't need that.
And the funny thing is, though, I mean, we talk about poverty, etc., in some of these states at regional level, but is this not the same Bielsa state that invited, I think it was either Jay-Z or Beyonce, and paid them $500,000?
Well, forgive me for interrupting, just to kind of say, the issue of poverty in both Bielsa and in the Northeast also partly has to do with mismanagement of resources. Yeah. So it's a complex picture. I don't think it's useful or helpful to set one region against another. It's a complex picture.
All right.
Okay, well, it seems we do seem like we might be taking a caller very shortly.
I'll tell you what, I mean, there's a lot of people getting in touch tonight, just like last week. I mean, that, as I suppose, is a tribute to the level of passion, energy, and determination of Nigerians to take part in this big international conversation.
And it looks like we finally have that caller from Abuja in Nigeria, and it's Toju. Toju on the line. Hello, Toju. How are you? Hello? Toju, what's your contribution, please, tonight?
Hello?
Hi, Toju. Hello. You're live in the studio. Well, live from Nigeria into our studio here. What's your contribution tonight, please?
Right. Thank you very much. Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Right, brilliant. We in Nigeria, we are celebrating at the moment because there's generally an air of... Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Please talk.
Yeah, I mean, there is generally an air of optimism at the moment for what we've got in Nigeria. What we know about Buhari is he's an ultra-conservative. Celebrating at the moment, we must show cautiousness in the way we're celebrating. Having said that, we're trying to be optimistic about what we've got coming, because even though, yes, we're in the middle of some, maybe we predict a slowdown in the economy and all, but this opens up some kind of close partnership with the East. I mean, the East Bloc, China, and the rest of the developed world, maybe developing world coming. Buhari will definitely bring in some austere measure. That is probably not necessarily a bad thing, because at the moment, the way cash moves out of this.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maybe you better have credit to Naira or something. I'm not sure. Hey, you know, one of the things we haven't addressed is, okay, in this part of the world, when a prime minister is elected, or in the US, a president, in France, a president, we look at the first 100 days. So I'm just wondering what the first 100 days of Muhammadu Buhari should focus on. First 100 days, what would you like to see, Titi?
First 100 days, I think.
Yes, because it's kind of like a little landmark initially, isn't it?
I think you touched on something, Chidi. You said broad principles. Given that the election, nobody went into details about the policy, I think the first 100 days should signal what actually the deliverables in terms of policy are going to be and the key indicators, because the first 100 days, I'm not sure you can do a lot in the first 100 days. But let us know what we will need to hold them to account
Buhari
for.
himself has said, no miracles, give me some months. He said so himself, so...
But we need, what are we holding, you know, you
course,
said it's broad principles, so when you say change, what is the change? We need details, we need to understand, are you going to create, is the plan to create 500,000 jobs? Is the plan to improve primary health care? Is it, you know, one free...
youth unemployment, so that's one of...
That's still too broad for me.
It is too broad, it's true. How to go about
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess you can answer that, 100 days?
Well, no, I have to agree with all of you. I think that what's extremely important is actually for Buhari to set out a broad economic set of goals. We know what his political goals are. They revolve around resolving the issues of security in the Northeast, and we all welcome that. Everyone is desperate for him to be successful at that. But we also need him as a nation to set out economic goals, targets, and deliver.
What do you think those goals should be in headline terms? Because, you know, good luck Jonathan talked about diversification of the economy. I think the Adeshina, the agriculture minister, everyone's talking about him all the time. But it's still not that diverse yet, is it? the Nigerian economy.
You're absolutely right. And I hate to go back to the fact that he threw Fela in jail, but he is not the kind of person who exactly excites the creative industries. We need to talk about him being a reformed character, and he needs to show he's learnt from the past. And one of the ways in which you do that is by reaching out. So there's the creative industries, there's all of Nollywood, which can grow, which can add a lot to Nigeria.
Yes.
There's agriculture, there's oil, there's telecoms. We have a lot going for us. There's also infrastructure projects that have been signed up by this government, which many people don't think go far enough. And I absolutely agree, they did not go far enough. He has an opportunity to go one step further. So there are many elements of the economy where he can achieve. It's just that we haven't even seen him try yet.
One thing people hope he doesn't do is look and say, this is a PDP project, this infrastructure project.
Exactly.
Get rid of it, because you see this so often, not just in Africa, also here.
The lack of continuity would be devastatingly bad for us.
Okay, well, let's also now take from a caller here in England, Matt. Let's take Matt's contribution to tonight's discussions. Hello, Matt. What's your contribution, please?
Hello. I'm just calling Nigerian people to congratulations to them as what the job they have done is good for all over the Africa. I'm sure many countries will do the same thing Nigeria did. They did a good job. I have to say I'm happy for those people, honestly.
Okay, thank you very much. Now,
nice.
It is now. I do know that we do have some tweets as well. Lots of tweets, I'm being told, that have been coming in. So let's also take a question from one of the tweets. Now, Goodluck Jonathan shot himself in the foot by relying on ethnic and religious sentiments, was surrounded by rogues, and became the czar of corruption. Titi, one for you.
I think there is the tweet is partly correct. He did rely on a number of so-called people who thought they were bringing the masses with them. Some of these people who felt that they could deliver. There's this thing in, I don't know, are you going to deliver your state? Are you going to deliver you're going to deliver the Christians, you're going to deliver, and, Jonathan being a Christian, there was an assumption that he would deliver all the Christian population. No, the reliance should have been on the populace.
Yeah. You mentioned populace, and we've talked about the masses, but actually one thing that does trouble me, and it's not being discussed enough, is Nigeria's population, let's say 175 to 180, because I don't think it's 173, I think it's grown. How many people actually voted? And it's worryingly small, I think.
Small.
Yes, we talk about an expression of the will of the people, but last time I looked, not even 30 million altogether actually successfully cast their votes, their ballots. Why was it so low?
Well, first of all, how many people were registered to vote? I think it was 68 million. Yeah. So that's the first thing. How many people collected their PVC, voting card? And then, as in any democracy, not voting is also an option. Yeah. Some people actually didn't.
But there was also chaos at some of the polling stations.
There was chaos.
The INEC people turning up hours late. Yes. People, elderly people as well, in the boiling sun, 40 degrees, waiting for 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, and these people saunter up.
Okay, well, let's take.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take another tweet. Now, Buhari should refuse the Western imperialist imposition of Okonjo-Iweala. She was the one that ruined Nigeria's economy. I think...
I've met that woman a few times.
I've met her once before, I have to say.
Quite redoubtable.
So, Chidi, I think that's probably one for you,
Auntie Okonjo-Iweala.
Thank you for the question. I have to say, because for a long time, people have said the fact that this woman comes from the World Bank means that she comes from an institution that is associated with imperialism and, structural adjustment. It's an institution that doesn't necessarily bode well for emerging market countries, African countries in general. What can she do? And I think what she's tried to do is focus on due process and planning in a way that has been able to benefit Nigeria. There have been specific issues where very many of us have found it difficult to be robust about the processes she's helped develop. And I'm referring to the 20 billion that Lamido Sanusi, Lamido, our ex-CBN governor, pointed out was missing under her watch. Now, you have to be balanced if you're going to be logical and clear about these things. And I have to tell you, it became very difficult when the PwC, I think it was, report wasn't revealed. So we know there was a massive hole in the finances. We know it was investigated, but we still don't know why it happened, who did it, how to resolve it, if the money will ever come back. And this is one of the reasons why I always say, whenever I hear about our election, that Goodluck Jonathan lost the election. GMB didn't win it.
Right. Okay, well, we'll take another final tweet on the economy. The wind of change is already positive in Nigeria. Naira sold for 230 before elections in its 189 today in the black market. I'm going to bring that to you again, Chidi.
That is, again, an excellent question. I think that just in the months leading up to the election, we all know people who were leaving the country. I mean, we all know money was also leaving. People were selling and leaving out. And most people who were leaving because they were worried about political risk. And in the declaration that JEG has given us all, in congratulating GMB, we get the impression that a big chunk of political risk has actually just gone away. We've seen a smooth transition. But I have to be blunt, it isn't over yet. Over the next 2 years, we have to cope with a rapidly changing economy, and we're going to see a lot of volatility in currency and stock markets.
We're coming towards the end of what has been a really stimulating and passionate program. And talking of passion, we know what the legacy of Madam Vice President, sorry, Madam First Lady. Yes. There is Godu, remember that? But what about the outgoing president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan? What will he bequeath to the nation of Nigeria?
Promise the country free and fair elections. I've kept my word. I've also expanded the space for Nigerians to participate in the democratic process. That is one legacy I would like to see endure. Nobody's ambition is worth the blood of any Nigerian. The unity, stability, and progress of our dear country is more important than anything else. Today, the PDP should be celebrating rather than mourning. We have established a legacy of democratic freedom, transparency, economic growth, and free and fair elections. For the past 16 years, we have steered the country away from ethnic and regional politics. We created a pan-Nigerian political party and brought home to our people the realities of economic development and social transformation.
Okay, just picking up what President Goodluck Jonathan has talked about there, fair, transparent democracy and elections over there, which will be, I think, his biggest legacy. Now, this caller from Nottingham, Christopher, is on the line. Christopher, do you feel the peaceful transition of power, free and fair elections will be Goodluck Jonathan's greatest legacy?
Let's hear it, Christopher.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, see, I've listened to the debates, you know, the jubilation about the outcome of the election. But in my opinion, the real change here is Jonathan. Jonathan is the change. It's enable an environment where we have a free and fair election. Is allowed the rule of law to transpire in Nigeria. Is encouraged the freedom of the press. Jonathan is the only president in Nigeria, ever in Africa, that everybody has abused and never did anything in return to retaliate. And his conduct after the election, congratulating Buhari, we've never had that in Africa before. So we should be jubilating, right, that Jonathan is the best president Nigeria has ever had for his behavior, his action, his attitude. And that's what we need in Nigeria.
Christopher, thank you very much indeed. Real passion, a real Jonathan supporter, feels that he's been abused. Apparently, President Obama spoke to DRC President Joseph Kabila to essentially praise Goodluck Jonathan for the manner of his departure. That's a kind of legacy, but you've got to look at the 5 years and the record, and I'm not sure most Nigerians would agree with what Christopher has said.
Well, I do understand what you said about the congratulatory message, because that actually ensured that those people around him who were beginning to want to create problems realized that there was nothing to fight, and that stopped that. Yeah. So that was good. However, under his watch, children were disappearing. Yeah. That is not acceptable. It is not acceptable that people were going to school and they were disappearing. The Chibok girls are the least, they're just part of those who have got lost.
And 12 days would be 1 year.
Yes, and we have how many internally displaced Nigerians? And I know of stories of people who have been raped in these internally displaced camps. That is not acceptable. So for me as a Nigerian, he did not value, and this is where, I mean, I don't know if people remember, there was a big interview process where students went to stadiums across the country and they died. Yes. So for me, one of the things he did not do as a leader was value the life of the common Nigerian.
And that's probably why he won't be a candidate for the Mo Ibrahim Prize, which is awarded every other year to a president who stepped down.
It is indeed. We do have a caller on the line, Sade from London, who probably wants to take part in exactly what we're saying tonight. Sade, we're talking about Goodluck Jonathan's legacy. For you, will it be the Chibok girls that he will be remembered for, or for the smooth transition of democracy and the first in Nigeria's history to actually call the winner of the elections and say, you know, congratulations, let's hand over peacefully? Hello, Sade.
Hello, I'm here. A quick one, because I know you guys are running out of time. I will actually just say.
Oh, well, that was very nice of her, because she knew we didn't have much time.
Anything, though, it's been there. It conducted a free and fair election as it promised, but there is more to governance than that, because as a leader, you need to take responsibility for a whole lot of things, which he refused to do within the last 6 years. And for me, that is a lot. It's a lot more than what's happened. If he's actually done a lot for Nigeria within the 6 years, Nigerians don't ask for too much, like Dr. Bamidele says. We only asked for little, but we didn't even get any, not even any, talk less of little.
All right, Shada, there you've landed. Thank you very much, final caller of the show. Hey, thank you very much for coming in, Dr. Titi Banjago, Nigerian Leadership Initiative.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been fantastic having you here. Chidi Oti Obihara, economist extraordinaire, investment banker on all things supreme in Nigeria. I exaggerate, but I'm pleased to see you here.
Thank you.
And of course, Mo as well, Abdul Kadir, that we
Yes,
had
that's
early
right,
on.
Mo Abdul Kadir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tim. And thank you as well to the callers, the people as well who tweeted us the questions. Thank you very much for taking part in tonight's discussions. Now, until maybe the future, the next show, have a wonderful evening.
Good night.